Hey guys, Florida week. That's really all you need to say with Kevin Butler and Eric Zier, and these two guys have played in that game and played in it a lot. And Eric, I'll start with you. I know you have great memories of the Florida game, don't you?
No, well, it's salt in the wound. I appreciate you throwing that to me first. No, it was I was right at the beginning of the losing streak that thankfully we have reversed.
That was your fault.
It really was. It really was. I've thrown enough passes to Gators in my lifetime that I really don't want to remember it. The good news is that I'm not out there playing quarterback for sure, but it's a special game. It really is. When you go down, obviously this year will be different, but when you're able to go into that stadium with the history surrounding that football game, and the fans from both sides have such emotion, such passion. It's a special game to play, and obviously this year will be different. But the intensity and the passion on the field, none of that will change. It is, it's one of the biggest rivalries we have every year, and I know I'm ready to get down on Saturday and take a look and see if we can continue our own streak that we have here, where we've turned the tide on the Gators, and hopefully that continues.
Kevin, you were in some of the great games that Georgia fans have very fond memories of. I know myself included during that time in the early '80s.
Yeah, it was it's a lot different. You know, we were playing Florida and you had to go through Florida, and we really ended up with Auburn to whether we were going to win the SEC. But, you know, times have changed now. It's the Georgia-Florida game that has really been the catalyst to the East crown as of recently. And as Eric said, Florida went on a great run. And, you know, some of those years, much like this year, Florida is picked to win this year by a lot of people. And I think Georgia was picked to win several times over that streak. But, you know, Florida just kept the pedal down. And I think that's going to be the challenge for Georgia going into this week. You're seeing two offenses that visually look a lot different than each other. But when you look at the statistics, except for the scoring, they both are having success through the air and on the ground. So, you know, Georgia's going to be challenged with trying to keep up, I think, with the offense of Florida this year. And back when we played, heck, we didn't even talk about the passing game. We knew what was going to happen. It was going to be run, run, run. And I really still believe that, and trend has shown, if you win the trenches in this game, you win the game. And that starts with the running game. And that's why I really believe Georgia's certainly in this game.
Is there anything wrong with that though? Run, run, run. I mean, if you're good at it, do you have to pass?
Well, you know, I'll speak for myself first, but, you know, I always am a big proponent of, if it's working, do it until they can stop. And that's what you saw last week. Georgia was running the ball and Kentucky couldn't stop. And then on the other side, Kentucky was running the ball, but Georgia bent. They didn't break. That means getting in the end zone, putting points on the board. There's a big difference there. And you know, Georgia did it enough to win, and we left a couple of other ones on the table with some turnovers. So if it's working, Scott, I'm a big proponent of keep doing it until they make you change, because when they make you change, they've opened themselves up for something else.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. There's nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, it's how we're built. I mean, we are built to play great defense. We are built right now to run the football. Now, it's for so many fans today that are used to seeing all of these offenses that have become really explosive and are putting up a lot of points. But there are different ways to win football games, and we are built to run the football. We've got great running backs. We've got an offensive line that is improving every single week. We've got big physical tight ends. We've got big physical backs that can do a lot of damage in the running game. When the season is over, it doesn't matter if you win every game by 1 point. If we show up and we've got the one loss against Alabama, and we find ourselves back in the SEC championship game, doesn't really matter how you get there. But you play to your strengths. That has to become your identity and what you go do. And you've got to block out the noise of so many people on the national stage, not just talking about fans, but all of the national media that's going to look and try to criticize everything that you're doing on the offensive side of the ball. truth is, you play to the strengths of your team, the strength of this football team. It is the great stable of running backs that we have. It is an offensive line that is getting better. It is a great defense, even with the injuries that we have coming out of Kentucky. That is who we are, and we need to embrace it and go be physical. And you go hit teams enough times, they will start to bend, and they will start to break, and you can win every game that you play in with that formula. With this defense that we have, that we are going to be in every single game that we play, but we have to protect the football, and we can't get away from who we are.
So is one of the themes for this game, again, kind of like what we saw with Alabama, our defense against Florida's offense, kind of like it was, it was set up, Georgia's defense against Alabama's terrific offense? Is that what we're going to see on Saturday here?
I think that's obviously a big piece of it. I mean, Florida's got an explosive offense. I don't think they're as explosive as what we see Alabama doing right now. But Florida has the ability to put up points, and they're going to be a very, very tough opponent. So that's a huge matchup. But it's also what are we doing on the offensive side of the ball? Are we controlling the clock? Are we converting on third downs? And then most importantly, are we protecting the football? Even as good as Alabama has been on the offensive side of the ball, if we don't turn the football over and give them additional opportunities, that game looks dramatically different. We got behind kind of the snowball rolling downhill in that Alabama game and lost a little bit of momentum. So things got out of hand there. But it started when we started turning the football over and giving up explosive plays. You eliminate explosive plays, don't turn the football over. It's a game that we can go win. And every game that we have on our schedule is one that we can win if we do those things.
Yeah, I agree with Eric. When you look at this Florida team, on the average, their offense is averaging 72 more yards a game than Georgia's. So they're just doing it different. And, I think people think about Florida going and hitting you with all these bombs. Well, their average completion on their offense right now is 14 yards. Well, Georgia, our average completion is at 13 yards. So, they're doing great things when they catch that ball. The old yak we talk about, yardage after catch, and they've been dangerous. So if Georgia's going to play their game, first of all, you know what they got to do that run. You got to win that trench right there. But keep these guys in front of you and make sure the tackling is good tackling. You're not going to bring these guys down, just kind of pushing them and shoving them. It's got to be a physical ball game. I know they're preaching that, but it gets me excited. I know what our defenses did back then. I remember when the Bears, you win this game by knocking their players out, and you do it legally and you do it physically, but you go after that quarterback. He is their machine. You can get to him, get him rattled. Georgia's defense is going to control the game.
I know when we're recording this now earlier in the week, personnel could be different by the time we get to game time. We know that the Bulldogs will be without at least two guys on defense, and Julian Rochester and Richard LeCount. And we certainly hope both of those guys recover very quickly, and our best to them. Florida's got some personnel issues going on as well. They're missing some guys. They went a couple of weeks having to shut down their program with the virus situation. So both teams kind of come in with personnel issues. How much do you think, trying to guess here early in the week what this is going to look like on Saturday, how much do you think those personnel issues will affect the way this game is played?
Well, I think it's obviously going to have impact. You lose a Jordan Davis from the middle of your defensive line. It's going to have impact. I think if there's any good news for the University of Georgia, the way that we've recruited and the depth of talent that we have, we've got a lot of different ways that we can attack on the defensive side of the ball. Now losing those big bodies in the interior of your defensive line, yeah, absolutely has impact, but we've got an entire week to prepare for it and to get these guys ready. We have rotated defensive linemen in and out of football games now for a couple of years. So there's a lot of experience, and we are deep, and we've got a lot of different linebackers that we can go put into football games and give different looks to create havoc, to create confusion. So will it have impact? Yes. I think it's minimized a little bit with Georgia because of the way we've recruited. in the depth of talent that we have. And we've got a full week to go prepare for it. It's not like you're in game in the first quarter. Now, all of a sudden I'm without some of my big boys up front. We know what we've got going into the football game. So we'll be able to adapt and adjust to it and put together a plan with our talent that we have that puts them in the best spot to win. And Florida's got that same issue. But with both teams having some personnel questions, that tilts into Georgia's favor just because of the way we've recruited and how much talent and depth we have on that side of the football.
Yeah, I think depth is the key word. And, Georgia has played a lot of these guys quite a bit. And if you haven't had that depth, you haven't had the opportunity to get out there and get experience. We're going to be lacking experience. But you look on the Florida side, just like Eric said, they got new players that are out there. I mean, they're going to have a different look. I mean, I just found out their coach is going to dress like Chewbacca the Wookiee this weekend. And that's scary right there to see him on the sideline. You got to be ready for anything. It's going to be a different team out there because of the personnel. And with COVID, you just don't even know what the roster looks like now. You're really going to get till Friday to find out who is going to have the opportunity to be dressed out on Saturday. It's a crazy year.
How much does emotion drive this game? I mean, there's so many unique things that are surrounding this game. First and foremost is the location of where it's played, since it's not in a home stadium. But how much does the emotion between the two fan bases, between the two programs, the coaching staffs? I mean, you can talk nice all you want to, but when you get right down to it, neither program really likes the other one, do they?
They don't. I think the team that takes emotion out of the game is the team that wins. You go back to when I was playing and we were in the middle of the losing streak. There was a tremendous amount of emotion inside that Georgia locker room when we were coming out, and it really got us out of business as usual. So it altered the way that we approached the game, altered the way that we played. I think one of the remarkable things Coach Smart has done is he has come over and he's really put his stamp on the culture of this program, is that it doesn't matter who we're playing. We've been in a lot of big games. We understand how to control emotion to where we can go out and it is focused on our assignments and it's discipline in the way that we approach the game. That plays into the benefit of any football team. I don't care who you are. And it's one of the big adjustments that we have made organizationally that has played into our favor. If you get too high or you get too low in these football games, it can have a negative impact on how you play. It has to be business as usual to where you step out on that field and it really is no different. The emotions will be there. You'll be hyped up and ready to go, but who controls that the best really puts themselves in the best chance to win the football game.
Yeah, I like to call it controlled fury. I mean, that's exactly what you got to have. And Coach Smart and his staff all week long, I got to see it firsthand in each and every meeting. They're driving home the importance of it, the importance of having emotion during the week when you prepare to understand what you're preparing for, what kind of fight you're going to be in. A lot of these guys have never been down there. So it's hard to even think about walking into an empty stadium and thinking you're really going to be in a war. You're used to being that crowd. You're used to hearing it and feeling it. So they got to produce that during the week. So these guys recognize the situation they get into. The team that does that, as Eric said, and controls it on Saturday. I want you to be as crazy inside, but I want you to be thinking. I want you to know your assignments and don't be unpredictable. Be predictable. That's what you coach all week long. You have an assignment, stick with it no matter what your excitement takes you. Controlled fury can certainly help this defense really dominate and kind of slow down the Florida offense. That's going to be the battle, as you said, Scott. But don't think the battle for Florida is not stopping the Georgia's rushing game. If we go out there and you see that 10, 12 play drive at the beginning of the game that eats up 8 minutes, that puts Florida at a whole different standpoint before they even step on the field.
Finally, here we'll wrap it up. A couple of things from your standpoint, your opinions on what Georgia needs to do to win this game. Will Georgia be satisfied to win this game like we did last week against Kentucky in that same manner, that same fashion?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. It's the, I think that the keys to the game early here, and there's still a lot of work we've got to do getting ready for the game, just from our chairs, obviously. But, early on, it really is, it's creating confusion for Kyle Trask and getting him uncomfortable. He really is what makes this Florida offense go. They've got a great tight end, being able to minimize him. But if we can create confusion and get Trask uncomfortable to where he's having to change his launch positions, get him moving in the pocket, get him moving his feet, get him thinking about what he has to do, where he's not just out reacting, and eliminating explosive plays, make Florida drive the field consistently. Our defense is just too good. If people have to put together 10, 15 play drives against us, there's a great opportunity that we will step up and get offenses off the field. So eliminating the big plays, creating confusion. And I think on the offensive side of the ball, we've got to be able to run the football. If we can go run the football, it changes everything that we do. Get Stetson Bennett on the move with play action, be selective around where you throw the football. But it starts with controlling that line of scrimmage on the offensive side. I think if we do that, and then do what we're talking about on the defensive side and eliminate big explosive plays against us, we're just too good. Even with the injuries, we're too good not to have a chance to go win this football game.
I agree. I agree. I just think that, it's going to be that classic battle. There's not much different that's going to dictate this game. I still think, just as Eric said, it's the trenches. I don't think Florida can stop Georgia running the ball. I think they're going to pack it. They're going to pack that box, and they're going to say, Stetson Bennett, you got to beat us. They're going to be rushing. They're going to have their hands up. They're going to be focused on blocking passes. So I think it's important for Todd Monken to get Stetson outside. Let him move. If they're going to pack the box, let's take our speed outside and make them chase the play. It's good to run at the play the whole time, but sometimes it's better to have that defense trying to gain ground to get to you instead of going straight at you all the time. We will run at them quite a bit, but I think it's going to be very important to put Stetson in positions that he really does pretty good in, and I like him rolling out.
Finally, guys, should we reenact that scene from The Longest Yard when the defenders kept coming in? Ray Nitschke in the original movie, the ball curl play. Can we do that to help Stetson and win this ball game?
I like that.
Indeed.
All right. We hope you can join us on Saturday. Kevin and Jeff will get our broadcast started 11:30 Saturday morning with the Dog Talk pregame show. We'll be down in Jacksonville at TIAA Bank Stadium for the tailgate show starting at 12:30. Kickoff moved a minute earlier today from 3:39 to 3:40. I hope we can handle that. And the game is on CBS, of course, but we hope you join us for the radio broadcast. Guys, good to see you again. Have a great week. And we hope to have you on our broadcast on Saturday, folks. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.